In this video, I'm going to be sharing the 7 fears that hold people back in life. These are 7 fears that determine your success or your failure as you progress through this life. And the first one is the fear of speaking to one stranger, the fear of speaking to a stranger. This is one of the earliest fears that we face, that we encounter as we grow, as we start our journey in this world. For example, I remember the first day my mom dropped me off at school, at nursery school. And I was one of those kids who, for the first couple hours, would not stop crying, did not want to be there. I did not want to be around all these kids, all these people that I was not familiar with. So for me, I grew up shy, and this has been a big one. But it's a fear that you have to take control of, especially in that early stage before it becomes part of your personality. But it's not just about when you're a kid. This is something that you encounter as you go through this life so many times. Think about the last time you were on a bus or on a train. When was the last time you actually turned to your side and started a conversation with a stranger, said hi, got to know them? When was the last time you did that? And you have no idea who these people are. These are people who could be instrumental to your life. But aside from that, it's just a beautiful thing to have that confidence to be able to connect with people. So that is one of the first fears we face, and it's one that will determine how you go through this world, especially if you let it take control of your personality and your psychology as you develop and as you mature. The second one, following on from that, is the fear of not speaking to one person, but speaking to a group of people. Standing in front of 10 people, 20 people, 50, 100, 1,000 people, and sharing your thoughts, sharing your ideas, speaking about yourself. If you're someone who is a professional, if you're working in an organization, this is a massive one for you. This is one that's going to determine your success with your career, within your organization, in your business, as an entrepreneur, whatever you do. The fact that you can stand in front of people confidently, charismatically, and share your thoughts with them, share your ideas with them, that is very important. Unfortunately, most people, and I did this as well at the start, most people just focus on how well they can do their jobs. They don't really think about being able to lead a team, being able to speak confidently in meetings, being able to convince prospects to become clients, to become your next partner, to close deals. And that's a vital skill, especially in this day and age with technology and AI. And again, for me, this is not one that I had naturally. I was able to speak, but I had to work on my confidence. And I did many bold things to improve this skill. So one of the things I did was, right from university, I volunteered. I put myself in tricky situations. I would volunteer for speeches, for debates. I would join societies where I could practice, where I could develop my communication skills. But then I did something that was even crazier, something on a different level. For me, I wanted to take it further. So I would go out in public. This started a few years back. I would go out in public and I would just find groups of strangers, maybe at the park, maybe at the beach, maybe at an outdoor restaurant, and I would introduce myself and have a conversation at first. Then I built that up to giving speeches. I would ask for one random word, which they would give me, and I would have to give a speech on that word, unplanned. And I did this hundreds and hundreds, almost 1,000 times, speaking to thousands of strangers. And that's one of the ways that I developed this skill to the point where this is what I do now. I help professionals speak confidently. I take my clients, I coach them online or face to face, and they're able to make an impact in their career as well. So that's fear number 2. By the way, beautiful day we have here. Amazing. So fear number 3 is what I'm doing right now. Aside from speaking to one person or speaking to a group of people, The world has changed, and one advantage, one strength you can have in this day and age is the ability to go online and share your ideas. Make a video, put it on social media, put it on a website where you can show people what you know, where you can share your thoughts and connect with other people who have the same ideas. And again, if you're a professional, this is super important. Because one thing that's happening right now is there's a lot of competition for jobs, there's a lot of competition for opportunities. And if you have two prospects who apply for a job, who are competing against each other, maybe in healthcare, maybe in engineering, maybe in finance, maybe in law, they might be competing for a job, for a promotion, for a business opportunity. But if one of them has a track record online, because this person has been sharing their thoughts in video, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, in their blog, they've been speaking about their industry, they've shown all what they know online. Maybe they have a following. It doesn't even have to be a massive following. This can be micro fame. If they have 500 followers, 1,000 followers, what's happening in this day and age is this person with a track record, this person who's not afraid to share their thoughts to the world online, will win. That is what's happening across multiple industries. In publishing, in the film industry, in so many different ways. Like, they're actors online. I see them and they speak about how if you're just as good as someone else in terms of your acting skill, but that person has a bigger following online, that person gets picked. Same with publishing. Two professors. Who's going to get the book deal? Who's going to get opportunities? The one who is invisible online, or the one who has posts, videos, articles that they've written showing their knowledge, showing their expertise. So, if you're someone out there who's a professional, that's something you need to get on, is to start to share your thoughts, your ideas publicly. And that is a big fear most people have. Most people say, oh, it's saturated, everyone is making videos, everyone's posting online. But most people are not. Most people are not. And you're not competing with everyone in the world. You're competing with that person who is going to be the alternative when you go for that job interview, or when you have to give a speech, or when you want to publish your book, or when you want to get a promotion in your company. That's who you're competing with. You're not competing with everyone in the world. So that's fear number 3. Fear number 4 is the fear of being alone. So right now I'm in this beautiful location. It is amazing, as you guys can see. And I have this whole beach to myself. And the reason I'm able to do this is because I'm not afraid to travel by myself. So I have friends who couldn't make it, who couldn't join even though they would love to. But I don't wait. I buy my ticket, I go somewhere new, I explore, and I have an adventure. And because of fear number 1, the fear of speaking to strangers, which I've tackled many times, I can go anywhere in the world and make friends, connect with people, meet a random stranger on the street, have a conversation with them. If you check my page, you see so many videos of me interviewing people and asking their thoughts, asking about life. So that's a skill that I had to develop as well, because I'm an introvert naturally. But I worked on myself, I built that skill up. But the actual more important point in this for me is not about going somewhere alone. It's not about traveling alone. It's about being able to have your own ideas, your own beliefs, your own views in life, even if you're alone ideologically in those views, even if nobody agrees with you. And this is something that's useful in so many different areas. For example, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you have an idea no one believes in, you're going to be ideologically speaking, alone. But it happens in so many other areas of life. Even if you're not trying to achieve any massive end result, like grow a business, being able to have your own beliefs, even when people disagree with you, is something that will give you peace and comfort. You're able to stand independently. You don't have to wait for everyone to agree with you, with your way of life, with the way that you see things, for you to be happy, for you to move forward in life, for you to make progress with your life. So that is fear number 4. It's a really strong one, and it's one that if you can overcome, you can have peace and quiet. Hope you guys are enjoying this. It's a beautiful day. Let me quit speaking for a while and share some of this landscape with you. Look at that. It is amazing, honestly, the number of places that I have seen by myself. It's a wonderful thing to travel with friends, with companions, but I've also seen so many wonderful places by myself, and I've managed to have beautiful experiences by myself as well, without waiting for anyone else to join in. Fear number 5. As you go through this life and you have dealings with people, interactions, simple ones, complex ones, going to a restaurant to order food, being in a business partnership with someone, speaking with your team, your manager, there's going to be conflict. There's going to be disagreements. Sometimes you might be cheated. Sometimes you might be treated unfairly. And the question is, what do you do about that? Do you stand your ground? Do you tell people that you're not accepting this, that you deserve better, that you don't want to be cheated, that you're not going to accept it? This is standing your ground. This is the fear of conflict, the fear of disagreeing with people and putting your foot down and saying, these are my standards, this is what I'm going to accept. And this shows up in so many ways. When you disagree with family, with your parents, with your friends, when you disagree with co-workers, with strangers, so many different situations. And to put this one simply, it's, do you have the balls? Do you have the balls to stand your ground and say, this is wrong and this is not something I'm going to accept, and you have to change this? Or I'm going to have to take action, I'm going to walk away, I'm going to do whatever it takes to put the situation right. Or at the very least, I'm going to speak out. When you go to a restaurant and you order food and they bring the wrong thing, do you have the fear of complaining because you don't want to make a scene? So you have to be strong psychologically, mentally, to be able to say no to people. That's number 5. And the flip side to that, number 6, is you being wrong. Many times you will be the one who is wrong. You will be the one who has made a mistake. And the question is, forget about just apologizing. Do you have the strength? Do you have the confidence to look at yourself and say, I think I actually got that wrong. I made a mistake. And I can learn from this. I can change. I can see what needs to be done differently. But I messed up. And it's not just about letting this person know or these people know. It's really about self-correcting. Correcting yourself and saying, I'm not always right. And I can learn from past experiences. And for me, I can definitely say that's something I constantly need to work on as well. Take advice, take input from people, course correct, even take input from myself. Look at past actions, look at things I've encountered in the past and say, what can I learn from this? How can I be better in different ways of my life? That self-reflection and self-correction is fear number 6. And one of the most beautiful things about recording yourself, about documenting your life, is it gives you the opportunity to see yourself. Because one of the issues is we don't even see ourselves in the first instance. We don't know what habits we have, what actions we're taking on repeat, what mistakes we're making, our strengths and our weaknesses. So for me, recording on YouTube, or however you want to do it, even journaling in the past, but documenting my life has been helpful in helping me analyze myself and see my strengths and my weaknesses. And that's something I definitely recommend if you're watching this. And you can see at this point how many of these fears intersect. The fear of posting, the fear of sharing ideas online. If you're afraid to be criticized, if you're afraid to be wrong, if you're afraid to be right and stand your ground and say, no, actually, what I'm telling you is something that has benefits, is something that works, then you're also going to be afraid to analyze yourself and correct yourself, or you're not going to notice your strengths or your mistakes. So these things all intersect with each other. Which brings us to fear number 7. Fear number 7 is the fear of investing in yourself. And this happens in many ways. It's not just about money, it's about time, it's about effort. Many people want things for their lives, even simple things, like they want to be in shape, they want to learn a language, they want to speak confidently, persuasively, build a business, get a new job. But the price of these things is something that most people don't want to pay. In terms of time, in terms of effort, in terms of advice, coaching, a book, a course, joining a group of people who have done what you want to do. At the simplest level, let me ask you this. Think about whatever goal you have. This for me is number 1. Maybe you want to learn a language, maybe you want to travel more, maybe you want to build a channel on YouTube, whatever it is, whatever you want to accomplish, get a promotion at work. Here's a simple question for you. Do you have a specific time in the day, a specific hour or 30 minutes, 45 minutes, say 6 p.m. every day, a specific time where you are working on that goal and nothing else? And nobody can distract you, nobody can disturb you, not your wife, your husband, your kids, your friends, television, no phone calls, no text messages. That time is for this goal and nothing else. If it's Spanish, if it's French, if it's fitness, that's the time when you go to the gym, that's the time when you read that book. And nobody can contact you at this time. There's no distractions, there's nothing else. And it's the same time every day or almost every day. Because for everything people want, they want the tricks, the shortcuts. How can I grow my YouTube channel very quickly? How can I speak confidently? What's the trick? If I position my legs in this way, will I suddenly become super confident? But just invest in the time, 30 minutes every day to practice, to read something. Do you do that? That's the first thing, no matter what it is you want to learn or accomplish in this life, that is the foundation. If you don't make that time where nobody can disturb you, if you don't invest that time, you're not going to do it. And I know this based on having taught people different skills, languages, communication, so many different things. I've been coaching for years now, and I've seen the difference between my students or my clients that succeed and the ones that don't. And the basic cornerstone of everything is time and dedication. I have people who take coaching sessions once a month for 1 hour, and they complain that they haven't improved. They haven't achieved their goal. And to me, it's like I asked them, what if you did that with the gym? What if you went to the gym for 1 hour each month? Do you think you would have muscle? Do you think you would get in shape? Do you think you'd lose weight? But people don't make that connection for other goals they have in life. And it goes beyond time as well. Investing in yourself, in your education. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was a teenager, I spent all my money on a Tony Robbins event. And when I say all my money, it was in a different town. So I had no money for a hotel, for a room in that town, because I spent all the money on the actual event. And it was a 3-day event. So that meant that I would have to be homeless for 3 days. And I still traveled down to this town because I was that determined to learn, to attend this event. And I got lucky because when I arrived, I was the youngest person. I was the youngest person at this conference. Everyone else was in their 30s and their 40s, adults. And they're watching me and they're saying, "What are you doing here?" And I told them, I said, "Look, I read his book and I was so inspired. I knew that this was something that would change my life. So I had to come down. I had to be here even though I have no place to stay. I'll probably sleep in a park or something." And they looked at me like, "Man, you're crazy." And immediately, two of them offered me a place to stay at theirs. And that's how I avoided being homeless for those 3 nights. And this is something I did as a teenager. So I always assumed everyone else is very proactive, very ballsy in terms of investing themselves. But from what I've seen, it's tricky still for a lot of people to spend even a small amount of money or time on a resource, a book, on a course, on coaching that will move them a bit further in their lives versus spending that money on a holiday or something fun or some food, something nice. So this is a big, big one. And if you want to do anything in this life, the people who get those things done, they're doing things that most people don't do. And one of those things is investing in yourself. So let's wrap this up from this beautiful location. It's been fun chatting with you all. For me, those are the 7 fears that hold people back. And I don't present this as someone who has everything figured out. These are based on my experiences and my life. And these are things that I'm constantly working on myself. And maybe you have different ideas about the fears that hold people back. But this is what I believe. And this is what I will continue to work on for myself and for my clients. And by the way, if you want to speak confidently, send me a message. My details are below this video, and I will help you speak powerfully and with impact in your career and in your life. See you in the next one.